In this video, I'll show you how to name esters. Let's jump right in. An ester is a compound that has a carbon, a carbonyl, which is a C double bond oxygen. So carbon, carbonyl, oxygen, and then another carbon. And in a previous video, I showed you the Fischer esterification. That's making esters from an alcohol and a carboxylic acid with some acid. And we add acid, we lose water, and you can see the water molecule right here, a hydrogen and an oxygen, H2O, falls off to make a carbon, an oxygen, a carbonyl, and another carbon, the ester. Now, how you name esters is first you have to look at the alcohol part of the ester, and then second you look at the carboxylic acid part of the ester, and then you add 8 or O8 on the very end of the molecule name, the suffix of the molecule's name. So let's take a look at one example. This methyl ester looking compound comes from this alcohol, methyl alcohol, and this part comes from the carboxylic acid, the part with the carbonyl oxygen on it. So this was the carboxylic acid it comes from, and this is the alcohol it comes from. So let's look at the name of those two pieces. This alcohol, the common name for it is methyl alcohol. And the IUPAC name for this carboxylic acid, since there's two carbons in it, is ethanoic acid. Carboxylic acids end in ic acid. So to name my ester here, first I use the alcohol part of the name. So methyl. And you lop off the alcohol. And then for the ethanoic acid part, you lop off the ic acid and you add 8. So it's ethanoate. So methyl ethanoate would be what this IUPAC name is for this ester. The common name for this alcohol is methyl alcohol, and the common name for ethanoic acid is acetic acid. And I've shown this in a previous video. I'll put a link to it here. So if I wanted to name this ester in the common way, I'd use the alcohol part of the name, the methyl, and I lop off the ic acid from the common name acetic acid. So it would be some sort of acetate. Again, it ends in 8. So methyl ethanoate or methyl acetate. Let's look at another example. So here's an ester. Let's try to figure out what carboxylic acid and what alcohol this comes from. So drawn this way, I see that this phenyl carbonyl oxygen, so this must be the carboxylic acid it comes from, and this part must be the alcohol that it comes from. So the name for these are, this is ethyl alcohol. Let's use a different marker. And this carboxylic acid with a benzene on it is benzoic acid. So the name of this ester would be, name the alcohol first, ethyl. Then I go to the carboxylic acid and I lop off the ic acid ending, so it's ethyl benzoate because it's an ester, it ends in 8. So ethyl benzoate. This one, let's see, this part is the alcohol part. And this part must come from the carboxylic acid part. So this alcohol, the common name would be cyclopentyl alcohol. And this is methanoic acid because there's only one carbon. or the common name for that is formic acid. So I can name it two different ways. The IUPAC name would be cyclopentyl. Name the alcohol first. We drop the alcohol part. And then we go to the carboxylic acid, lop off the ic acid. So it would be methanoate. Cyclopentyl methanoate. Or the common name would have been cyclopentyl formic acid, lop off the ic acid. We call that formate. So a methanoate or a formate, same thing. So that's how you name esters. You name the alcohol part first, then the carboxylic acid part, lop off those endings, and add ate. I hope that helps. Please subscribe to the channel so I can help you with more organic chemistry.